Hello and welcome to today's healing circle, where we sit in a circle wherever we are, join telepathically, intentionally with our heart and beingness from the location where we find ourselves in at the moment in time we find ourselves in, to support all of our self-healing ability. The emphasis is to recognize the sovereignty of every single being that is taking part, and every single being we share the support for their self-healing with. This is based on the fact that all of us are connected to our soul, all of us connected to our entire multidimensional beingness, to our many heart layers, to all that which makes up each being across timelines, across dimensions, and that part of the beingness is part of our life, is manifested here, is embodied, is a better word, embodied here in whichever form. So the color blue is part of this container, and today is Tuesday, the 30th of April, 2024, and would like to mention that Sedna entered Taurus. No, excuse me, left Taurus, entered Gemini. It's just at 0 degrees something for a couple of days. That we have a lot of planets in Aries, that we have started a new cycle with Jupiter and Uranus conjunction a week ago. We need to remember it is the beginning of a new cycle. And with Pluto in Aquarius at the beginning of this year, or around the 20th of January, we are in a bigger new cycle. And depending where this falls into your house, there are also many new planets or asteroids that are coming into consciousness. However, just to say that we are always connected to all of the stars, all of the galaxies, all of our memories, even though it may be not yet conscious. We are all ancient beings, and we have come here to support all those around us, to embody peace, and to lay the foundation to a new way of being, which is based on the sovereignty and individuality of each individual, and that previous limiting top-down systems are no longer functioning. However, we are in a state of transition, and as many of us, including nature, including animals and pets, including even the elements, the elementals, the minute particles, or whichever label we give them, a lot of letting go, surrendering, and purging, purification, or alchemization is happening. So there can be many symptoms, and this circle to support self-healing focuses on saying the names of our loved ones, sharing the names of those we care for. And in this regard, we don't need to do this publicly. We can do it in speaking up in our minds, in the internal voice. And in this regard, it is enough to know of a situation, or to sense a situation, or to feel called to a situation as sharing pure love, sharing pure compassion, sharing pure peace with no agenda behind it, does not require that we need to ask for permission, as this is inherently our natural state of beingness. I would like us to break free of this concept of having to ask for an intermediary, i.e., for the highest good. For anybody that is feeling compassion for what is called the suffering of beings, where the word suffering is already an old paradigm definition. We are simply dealing with signals, which is even more removed as the word symbols. Symbols, yeah, symbols could be a way to connect as well. Symptoms. So symptoms already basically define more or less an not perfect, not equilibrium state, and signal, in this case, a disease. But we are coming away from this labeling. So the intelligence of the ancient physical body that is like a library, of all things, including all the love, but also including mm, situations that oppressed, situations that abandoned, situations that were lack of, situations that didn't work out favorably, situations that were created because something caused what I would name an artificial fear, because the natural state of feeling an inner warning of, hey, be careful, that is life supporting. This is a mechanism that just allows us to focus on the task. And if you have to take risk and um, bundle our energy to get through that situation. But the so-called artificial fear is more like phantom fear. It is inherited fear, and it is also something that may be sent out from the old system, whether this is via some sort of story, this drama, a choice of words that ramp up our heartbeat, and that kind of grab attention. This can also be done with sounds or with colors, because it may remind us of stressful situations our ancestors went through or we went through when there was really an urgent reaction to a flood or a fire or something. But most likely what is very inherent is the threat of an enemy that has been instilled in the human psyche as well as in the animal psyche, the idea of the alpha human, instead of offering a co-operation, a co-creation, and yeah, even a co-counseling where we meet each other on an equal level, accepting fully that each of us has the experience of lack, of aloneness, of not being allowed to express freely the joy and the life force as it presented. And things are changing, but those of us that went to the schooling system, the working system of the last whatever 50 plus years, where maybe certain groups, may that be religious, may that be corporate, may that be cultural, may that be the assumption because the color of your skin is this way, or because the biological parts of you are that way, therefore you fit into this drawer and so generalizations that have nothing to do with the potential and the talent of the individual. And also, basically, at this moment in time, we are still living, most of us living in a culture where, let's say, half of our life energy is used. So somebody else who doesn't do a thing benefits, and where we are still trained that material wealth is equal to success, which again fits in with Sedna being in Taurus for the last 55 plus years, and now moving into Gemini, which makes our quest in life more based on, yeah, I would say, know thy heart, know your heart, know yourself, meaning nurturing your own connection. And this is really what the theme of today's healing circle is about, is to remind ourselves, open ourselves up, and include all those loved ones that maybe are aware or maybe are not as aware of the power, the might, the absolute perfection their own body, their own multi-D being has access to. So saying that what we describe as healing, or what we may describe as an equilibrium, where the body automatically, knowing its blueprint over a long period of time, is naturally moving towards a state of health. Of course, there are interrupters. Some of those I've named already, and that is the feeling of being abandoned or feeling alone, the feeling of feeling not part of humanity, the feeling of not having a connection to our own spirit, our own soul, our own universe, omniverse, and where maybe we get labels attached that we sometimes believe in, because if we got a lack of energy, like if we're overwhelmed, if we're overly tired, if we're overly stressed, and that is for a longer timing, and it feels as if the situation isn't changing, even though it is always. And so the reason for sharing with you today is just to move into our conscious awareness that we are already that we have the ability to heal ourselves, that if we listen to our inner beingness, to our body, even when there are maybe conditioning or maybe characteristics, like we've always done that way and that helped and therefore we keep doing it. But that we can center with our breath. And we'll just do that right now. We'll just breathe gently into, let's call it our middle rather than our center. So that's maybe easier to do, just to find where is the middle point and breathe into that. And maybe different for each person. That middle part for me is about as big as a hand. That's where the focus is, and it lies above the belly, or above the belly button, about hand width above the belly button, on the breastbone area where the chest the rib cage in the middle, and underneath most likely will be, depending of where we are looking upon this, be the entry into the stomach will be near the heart chambers and will be um, kind of a midpoint for the lungs, and I suppose it's above the liver in a way, but it's just naturally calling me that way. So let's ask your body, let's ask you, let's ask me, let's ask our body, what theme, what process, or which, what is at the forefront at this moment in our lives that is asking for attention. And it may be absolutely individual for each of us. Let's just see if you get a feeling or sensation or word. Personally comes up the item of purpose, which means what is a personal project, what is my purpose, what is that, what my lifetime needs to be dedicated to authentically and in alignment and where can I make a contribution. It doesn't mean that I will get answers. I am simply asked what is coming up. The next one was healing. This has to do with supporting others in their healing, in simply carrying the acknowledgement that each being has its own path, its own power, its own empowerment, its own embodiment of that healing, including that of any loved ones, any animals, any pets, any nature, any tree, and including Mother, Father Earth. And the other was the word wholeness, meaning that everything, the beingness, the thoughts, the emotions, the physical body awareness, all comes into a place of wholeness where everything is healthy, is fit, is genuine, and which has to do with honoring what is needed. So if sleep is needed, to sleep, if food is needed, to eat, if water or drink is needed, to drink, and if study is needed, to study, and if research is needed, to research, and to come into a feeling that is rounded and grounded. So it is feeling good, genuinely good, and to know that that is possible, even though right now there may be some processes going on that are also showing the body is in transition. We will start today with placing our own beingness into the circle of healing. So today the focus is to support ourselves first. This is not an ego-centered. This is simply the acknowledgement that when we are okay, we can support others, or we can support others more. Um, so this is the focus today, and we're placing into the circle of healing our entire bodily functions, all areas where there's tightness. Let's just visualize those. All areas where there is no solution till now forthcoming. This can be an actual daily like thing. Maybe there is something that we feel we would like to finish because we started it, but it is drawing out lots because other things require immediate attention. So putting those that need to be finished and need to yeah, in a sense also fulfill a yeah, change the situation in finishing it what was started already. then maybe there are areas in your life where you wish for something, wish for a handful of good friends in the vicinity, people that support each other, people that have a love with each other, people that exchange know-how and where you can get hints and actually some which actually really practically offer hands-on support. In fact, that is the key to, yeah, to solving this apparent lack um, in our lives. And equally, we would also support those, and in a way, it actually mirrors the larger family connection one used to have, where someone knew someone, and so over the personal connection, this natural networking happened, and instead of having to have financial resources, we could just support each other with our talents. And I can see this maybe also a transitionary way forward to create a sense of coming together, which does not require that we all agree with everything. We just have an overlap of a, you could say it a joint intention, or you could say it the same ethics, and it's not based on one person taking the energy of everybody else. In fact, it's just more like everybody contributing without anybody having to use the energy of somebody else, because when you all show up with that unique beingness, what happens is that so much energy is naturally generated that everybody will get more of it. And in this case, it's not 1 plus 1 is 2, but 1 plus 1 is 11, or even 1 multiplied and therefore going beyond just one dimension. Okay, this activates my third eye a lot, so I just need to breathe for a moment to come back to the circle of healing. Okay, what else do you miss in your life and you would like to build a relationship with, like with your own body, with friends, with children, with a skill, or just rediscovering a talent? And so placing that into the healing circle as well. If you are not getting a specific um, thing, maybe just ask for the support, whether this is from energy beings, from your own intuition, from friends, family members, or from not yet known future friends. Or maybe just asking for more joy and more laughter. Or generally creativity away from that consumption model. Of course, we will always listen to stories and we always will listen to mm, audios or videos or any of this. However, the information I'm receiving is that this sitting in front of a screen and consuming content will absolutely diminish as we wish to be physically part of it, going there, not watching somebody having a birthday party, but actually going, congratulating them, giving them a hug, and yeah, having a meal together. So these things. Often the word second renaissance is used, so these things are natural. So they will have again a focus in human life because this is how it used to be, and this is how one learns, and this is how one feels connected. And it will not be under this judgment thing. This question, what is your job, will no longer be relevant. It is more like, what interests do you have? What are you currently interested in? Okay, then there may be a bigger wish, like a long term, the big goal, that you may have carried for eons. Okay, place that into the healing circle. Let's take some breath, center back into the middle of the body. Now we are kindly placing into this circle to support self-healing all those loved ones that we sense can do with some support in their own self-healing, in their own realization of projects, in their own embodiment of their deep heart wishes. And now the first thing that is coming up to actually place world peace into this circle of healing, the right of every being to live a life in peace and in abundance of all life's essentials. That's like the basics. This is like the natural state. So all the base for life is met. And now we place into the circle of healing, into this healing circle, my entire bio family, and holding each name for a moment, holding the name of those that require healing, and holding the name of those that support the other in their daily life, and they may need even more support as their energy flows into the energy of their loved one. So all our loved ones, and just name them if you feel that is supportive. And include the location for each person, please, too. Their home, their place of residence, their place of work or project, or if they're in a holiday home, if they're visiting somewhere, if they are possibly finding them temporarily in another room, in another building, in another place, or their situation. We include that organization, fairness and healing, all their vehicles, public vehicles included, public transport included if they take that, all their communication devices, any equipment they need for their health, any electric or electronic machine in the house that is supporting our lives. And now including all of our pets in particularly because they are such a big support to humankind that is still underestimated. So all pets and all companion animals or where they sleep and where they live, the land they're on, all of the nature that supports them. And please, in case they require some support from us, that we are guided to that better nutrition, to that better supplement, to that plant, healing plant or homeopathic or any kind of supportive. How can I name this supportive? mm, let's call it a supportive method that will support their self-healing. And to be connected intuitively with anything that may be required. And here is where I would like to put into this circle of healing the trust that what we are getting as a supportive remedy that that inner knowing that makes us be inspired, that those natural actions are the right item, the right support, and that we can trust what our body is sharing with us. And that we may get another word, or we may have another idea, and or we may go to the place where we may get the food or something, that we will be guided to a resource, the information, a book, a particular tonic, something that connects with us. So we're opening up for that and asking for that guidance. We are inviting in any energy being, any ancestor, any soul galactic connection, any memory from things we've studied, we've learned in any of our lifetimes and any of our beingnesses, and that we connect with that, and we trust that this will show itself. And while we put all this in the circle of healing, this niggling feeling of feeling insecure, feeling unsure, having a really physical sensation of doubt, or of this you aren't good enough thing, or of that can't help, or even just because our way of being is not what is standard in the so-called collective. With this, we mean the majority. So the majority may be the 75% that are not exposed to this, or that we can't ask personally, but it is this energy in the air, or it is this resistance, which is to do with the old paradigm. So that it's not so much an inner child, it is to do with an inner truth. It is to do with our personal ability to have this natural talent and skill, because this is what all the wild animals have. And in that regard, we're just placing animal kind into the healing circle as our teacher. And when I say teacher, it's not the right word. It can be an inspiration that is about our energy, that we are inspired by how much abundance there is in the natural law, in the nature kingdom, in the energetic connections, even though the manifestation, the embodiment may take a different form. A heartbeat is still a heartbeat, and a water drop is a water drop. And we can see how when it rains, then the water is transformed. Yeah. Maybe into fog or into vapor or into many drops make a puddle, many puddles make a pond, and so on. And so there is transformation, alchemization in front of our eyes the whole time. And nature comes back to equilibrium. Mm. I'm sorry if the energy changed. I just noticed some outside hum, and that is a distant neighbor using his tractor, and my window is open and just creating some peace, some silence, and going back into the stillness, the inner stillness, the bird song that was there before. And it is fading. So thank you for the stillness. Thank you for the quietness. Thank you for centering into peace. Just breathing into the middle. So this is an example of the outer world manifesting. Um, I did close the window and now the sound is gone, but this is an example of how the focus of each person is different, and not dismissing anybody's tasks. However, it is the evening and the sun is going down and we had a lovely day, and tomorrow is a holiday, and while some create a healing circle and others do other things, this is to do with living and let others live too. And it is no malintention, maybe, but it is a certain amount of ignorance as one could keep and start one's tractor near one's own house and not so close to the boundary of the property. And I would like to place this into the healing circle too, because this person built his work shed too close to the boundary, and it is not allowed under the neighborhood law. However, it is there, and I simply would like to ask for more empathy, sympathy, more recognition of nature's cycles, and more fairness, more conscience, and to also care not just for your own, but also for those that live next to you or are the next ones along, and develop again a certain feeling to not do things that maybe could upset wild animals, other animals, and also humans. It would be just nice if there was more of a consensus of what living in harmony with land, with nature, and with your surroundings means. And also, I would like to place in the healing circle the possible communication between people that live in whatever vicinity. It's far enough away, however, in our planning of homes that we will create or we will remember what areas are there for privacy and what areas are there for public and what areas are there to be noisy and what areas are there to find peace and calm. And just putting that into the circle feeling. I would also like to include a few people. I would like to share supportive energy for a fellow path sharer and new friend and Keith in his endeavor to be presented with guidance and a solution for the situation. I would like to include Anna and her dog, Foxy Lady, in supporting Lady in her healing and supporting Anna and being there for her dog. I would also like to include Kathy Rose, who asked for healing thoughts and energies during her replacement that had to happen due to a material fault of the joint that was replaced, sending much healing support in that. And I would like to include this circle of healing into the project or Gregory that is happening usually on Sundays, but for 15 minutes at 7 p.m. But anytime one can link into that, and this is under the sentence of we are inviting in an expanded consciousness of love. So we are inviting in an expanded consciousness of love. We are inviting in an expanded consciousness of love. We are inviting in an expanded consciousness of love. With this, I would like to invite anybody who would wish to be named on a so-called healing list. This is a method used in many meditation practices or hands-on healing circles that we connect to those people who have put their names forward on the list to be read out or to be remembered, to be included in that focus when healing energies are collectively shared and love is multiplied in that way. And so I would like to place this in there, and I would like to place the intuitive guidance to create a life circle of healing and a life circle for peace to offer on an online platform for anyone who feels called to take part. And currently with this platform YT, one needs 50 subscribers, and so I am asking for the extra 35 that are required to offer this, to find a way here in the right timing. And if this is the path forward, I welcome that support and I surrender to the outcome. I surrender to offering a get-together for like-hearted. And I would just like to emphasize that there are no rules, there are no prerequisites. This is not attached to anything barring for being a support for humanity, being a support to those that feel resonance, and to support the land we are on, the nature we interconnect, the animals and pet we are connected to, the loved ones, the biofamily, the soul connections we find ourselves in, and it's absolutely doesn't ask for anything back other than just to be open to sharing compassion, sharing kindness, sharing love, sharing peace, sharing coming into an equilibrium of wholeness and sharing the support for self-healing. Thank you. And so it is. So, closing today's focus whilst allowing the energy to be embodied for each circle of peace and each circle of healing. I'm thanking you so much for being here, so much for sharing, so much for listening, so much for listening to yourself, so much for tuning in, and so much for offering your lifetime, your life energy, your patience, your focus, your love and compassion in this authentic offering of a healing circle. So it is. Thank you, and thank you. This is Blue, blueroom.org. Thank you.